The big game is coming! And there's no good time to use the bathroom. So we're giving you a putty-tunity! Turning our commercial into a bathroom break. So you don't have to choose between missing the action or the ads. See you right before halftime.
50% of the US is using an ad block already. With Pi Adblock, visit your favorite websites and watch ads disappear. However,
on the game's very first play yesterday, the Philadelphia Eagles ended up hitting for a 60-yard touchdown run. And today we're going to talk about what the Eagles ended up flashing on the offense side of the football, specifically with the offensive linemen. We'll talk a little bit about how Saquon Barkley had a massive day. And of course, even Will Shipley ended up having a really nice run towards the end of the game, which we'll get into a little bit later on. I'm excited for this one, man. The Philadelphia Eagles are officially in the Super Bowl. So congratulations to all the Eagles fans that have been supporting this channel. But I'm excited, man, to really get into this because I think the Eagles' offensive line is the best offensive line in the NFL. And of course, later on this week, we'll definitely look back and we'll talk a little bit about the defensive line as well. I said this in my video last week. Jalen Carter's the best defensive tackle in the NFL. And I truly stick with that. But let's break this play down here. 60 yards to the house. It's just a really well thought out play. So you're going to get this wide receiver going into motion. And with that, you're going to get a cornerback to essentially chase. And with that, you're also going to end up hitting a pin pull towards the left side where you're going to essentially get a crack block here by A.J. Brown. He's going to actually be one of the differences within this play because he's going to actually end up picking off two guys with this block. I think the fact that A.J. Brown's able to kind of push not only the defensive end that he's going to initially make contact with here, but he's going to push this guy into the linebacker, Bobby Wagner, here. And those two guys are going to essentially fall. Now, what happens within this play is, if you guys keep an eye on the left guard, center, and right guard, those three guys there have to pick off these three guys there. And Bobby Wagner's actually going to end up going unblocked. This is a very difficult block for the center here to be able to get up to Wagner. If him and the left guard try to exchange, that's a hard thing to do as well. Bobby Wagner goes unblocked. He makes this play here, but A.J. Brown is able to push this guy into Wagner. And Wagner ends up falling, and then, of course, Saquon Barkley just kind of does the rest. Just a really, really good job by those guys up front. We'll look at some of the offensive linemen. Jordan Mailata, arguably the best left tackle in the NFL. I know some people will disagree with that, but I think this guy's an absolute superstar. The development he's taken from when he first came to the Eagles to where he's at today has been incredible. This guy's an absolute elite football player, but you see him get out in space. He does a really good job finding the guy that he needs to cut off, which is going to be the corner here. He does a really good job being able to flip the hips. You can keep an eye here on the tight end. The tight end's going to lead block. Again, pin pull. Really, really good job by the guys up front. A.J. Brown, the tackle, the tight end. And of course, Saquon Barkley just makes people miss downfield. Best running back in football. Best offensive line. And it's just flashing, man. And it's working really, really, really well together. Let's get into the next play here. On the second drive of the game, the Philadelphia Eagles started to slowly drive downfield. They picked up 20 yards on this really nice pass by Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith. Just a really nice out route run by the wide receiver at the bottom of your screen. A great job. Great concept, especially against cover 6, which is one of the things that the Commanders run a lot. But I want you guys to watch the right guard on this one. To me, Mekhi Becton has been a game changer for the Eagles. The guy is an absolute phenomenal football player. And one of the things with his tape is just how strong he is. You see so many plays where this guy ends up anchoring down against some of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. You literally don't get much movement while you're trying to bull rush him. It's really, really impressive. And it's allowed the Eagles to utilize a lot of five-man protections. Now, this one's not a five-man protection, but Mekhi Becton's been really solid, and I think he deserves a lot of credit. And I'm not seeing the love in the general NFL that he deserves. The guy has been really, really, really solid. Here's another one. Here's the actual touchdown run that Saquon Barkley had, but you just see the movement generated by the right guard and the center as well. You're going to have an inside zone concept, which means you're going to get a double team here up to the linebacker number 4. And watch the movement that Becton's going to end up having on this defensive lineman. Look at how much they're going to ultimately be able to push this guy back. And it's just a really, really good job by those two guys. They're going to be able to kind of turn the hips on the defensive tackle there. Mekhi Becton specifically ends up sticking to him. Dickerson obviously played center for the Eagles in this game, with Jurgens obviously banged up. And Becton's basically going to stick to the block. He's going to flip the hips. And to me, this is just a really, really good job by those two guys. Now, Barkley does a really nice job as well. You're going to see the linebacker's going to jump the gap. Dickerson's going to be just a little bit slow to get to number 4. But of course, Barkley has that phenomenal jump cut ability. And he just jumps right outside. He ends up taking this for a touchdown. Now, of course, on that last play, Dickerson struggled to get to the linebacker and make the proper block. He did have a couple of plays in this game where he struggled a little bit. Now, of course, it's understandable playing the center position in the NFL. Pretty sure this is the first time he played center. He may have taken snaps in the past at center, but for the most part, Dickerson, we understand he's not a center anymore. And I know he played center in college. In fact, he was one of the highest center prospects I had at that time coming out. He moved over to guard. He's been a really good guard. And I understand he's also hurt and he's dealing with the knee issue himself. But if he ends up starting for the Eagles when the Super Bowl comes around, you're going to have to clean some of these little things up, right? This here is just a little bit of miscommunication, not trusting the guy in the backfield. The way you handle the double A-mug look, which the Commanders run a lot, the Chiefs don't run.
Lin Lai's Iron Fist, I feel like it's been flying under a lot of people's radar recently. It's only gotten resurgence because of Marvel Rivals. But his character dynamics and overall power potential is out of this world. And in this video, I'm going to show you just that. For those who haven't read Lin Lai's story, it's about understanding and balance. And that dynamic is shown through two different power sources. The Chi of Kunlun and his family heritage, the Sword of Fuxi, otherwise what grants him the title of Swordmaster. So to truly understand his potential, let's break down both those power sets, starting with the Sword of Fuxi. Throughout the series, as Lin Lai faces multiple pivotal character moments, we end up learning more about the sword. The Sword of Fuxi is not only just a family blade, but it's sentient. It's bounded by their very soul, you could say. Throughout the series, you kind of find out that Lin Lai is almost a reincarnation, and his duty is to use one of the three sacred weapons in order to seal away Chi Yu, the god of war. And though despite being noted to be a part of the set, the weapon on its own has the capability of slaying gods. Even the Greek god of war, Ares, finds this blade appealing. More aspects of the blade we end up learning about that it's unmeltable, unbreakable, and like I said before, only responds to Lin Lai. Eventually, the whole god-killing aspect gets re-emerged when they meet Davinawa, a Asian goddess of Madripoor. She knows Ares to be a young god. Then she lets us know that the Asian pantheons predate the Greeks by a large margin. Zeus was just a baby while most of the higher echelon gods in the Chinese pantheon were walking around. In other words, this goddess on her own was powerful enough to no-diff Ares. And this reinforces the point that this blade can kill gods, because this is what was going to be used to take her out. That's where the comic series of Swordmaster ends, but not its story, because now it gets tied into the whole Iron Fist aspect of his character. Due to an event that happened in Agents of Atlas, I suggest reading. The sword ended up breaking, shattering into pieces, but it's supposed to be unbreakable. We'll find out why later. This is where Lin Lai was supposed to die, but an outside power saved him. Shu Lao, the immortal dragon. That is how Lin Lai became the Iron Fist, and it's a unique sense because unlike most other title holders, it was gifted to him. He didn't have to slay the dragon, and that aspect gets brought up later on. But yeah, one thing I forgot to mention is that the blade did shatter, but it merged itself within Lin Lai's flesh, becoming one with him. And at first, this caused great turmoil for Lin Lai, but as I mentioned at the start of the video, this is about a story of balance, and over time he learns to mitigate this issue. While all that's going on with Lin Lai's character, his brother is trying to awaken that very god of war. He succeeds in breaking off part of his shackles, getting granted a aspect of its power. This is the moment where Lin Lai learns the truth, that this entire time he's been fighting against what he's truly meant to be. There's so much inner turmoil, that is the reason he couldn't control either his sword or the Iron Fist. But after a good pep talk, after merging the two impossible power sources together, finding a balance between them both, he practically made a brand new power source, merging the chi of his original family, the Fuxi, as well as that of Kunlun's. As I've noted before in other videos, one's chi Their spirit energy is completely unique to themselves. Shang-Chi tells us that Kung Fu is the mixture of one's unique spirit energy, their Qi, and these two. Again, awakening, he ends up besting his brother who had the power of the god of war. But his story doesn't stop there, because judgment is nigh. Through this judgment, despite it being for Loki and how he is unworthy, we find out that Lin Lai is lifting Mjolnir, a same metaphysical aspect of the real hammer. That's the whole point of this whole judgment from the Celestial. He lifts it up. Loki is amazed and he throws it away. He's like, damn, who is this kid? Not only does he have two aspects of spirit energy within his body, everything regarding it is completely pure and worthy. And all those character aspects, all his powers end up culminating at the end of his trial of judgment. He doesn't kill this fake version of Shu Lao because he wants to prove he's worthy. I want you to be the one to give me the power. I don't want to steal it from you, showing that he is completely different from other Iron Fists before him. This is why he's the God Slayer. This on a level Earth. We're talking about a dude who can fight gods, who's meant.
There's DIY, and there's doing it yourself. It's the difference between being creative.
God, bruh, are you serious? That's funny. Greek, you're such a fucking moron, bro.
Which hero do you think you want to be today?
But chat, listen.
Anyone stands in my way.
He picks
they will be
Iron Fist,
standing
bro.
much
Yo, that's so
longer.
fucking funny. That is so fucking funny. Oh my god.
Now, who am I gonna banish from
I
this
see you're
match?
hovering Wolverine, but do you think you'll be able to diff the other Wolverine if we don't ban it? Okay, I trust you. We can do Storm. Oh no, don't ban Wolverine, ban Storm, everyone ban. Okay,
I'm gonna have to heal this game.
don't ban Wolverine, we have a Wolverine. And yeah, we can do Banner or we can do Luna, which one? Okay.
This guy's trolling, bro. Oh! Oh my god.
Alright, it worked out.
The right heroes could make all the difference.
Alright. Big. Well, Cloak's win rates are really bad. And that's not because Cloak and Dagger were like that bad. It was because the players playing Cloak and Dagger in low ranks were really bad. Anyway.
Alright, Wolverine, I'll try and dive, let you know when I dive the support, so that way you can take the tank.
The fact that this kid is on Iron Fist is so peak. I'm sorry. It's just so funny.
Try and pull them off of you. If they ruins banned, so
They'll be
it's gonna be a
coming in
Cloak
30 seconds.
Mantis.
Stay strong.
Might take a little bit more of a stint, but should be able to deal with them.
Your idealism refreshes a battered old soul.
Can't be that old.
Astral projection makes me feel old.
Overwatch really died. What? Iron Fist, like, I don't know. Anyway, boys,
The battle
So,
starts in
okay,
5,
here's the good news.
4,
So here's
3,
some leaks, boys.
2,
I'm really excited.
1.
Listen, so
You have
the
to
Locker
stop
Room
them from securing the
podcast
mission area.
They aren't TPing, they don't
It-
even have a strange.
is on ice for now, but
Am I right?
we've got some really exciting news for you guys here soon. This will be fun.
Oh, I'm fine. Don't mind me.
Running Thor, hella, wow.
Give a Wolverine on me.
Bait Thor in, bait Thor in, bait Thor in.
Oh, I got pushed back on the floor, that's so unlucky. That's my bad, guys. I tried to dash back and the floor fucking shot me out of the air.
Oh my god, he's fucking far that guy.
insanely good at the game too. This is not good.
You need to
We
stop
just have to
that
give it.
vehicle in its tracks.
Wolverine, you're kind of alone back there. I don't know if you make it out or not.
Fine by me.
The hell I got shit on though.
They do not. I might have to swap it. They do not have a good comp for me.
Better stop that vehicle.
He's off hello. He's on sidewalk. You can probably stay. You can get on their Mantis every fight. I get on the cloak.
Yeah.
I'm back here. I'm back here now. I'm going in 2.
Got the
Why
side.
are we backing up?
I'm back in. Back right.
I'm on the cloak. Oh,
Yeah, what's up, R? We can match. We can match. We can match. Watch this. I'm gonna get all of them here. Ready? Oh no way! My ult got used too.
Oh my god.
Where's Mantis ult though?
Ulted.
Oh, he was coming back. No way. This guy killed me. Yeah, I didn't see him there. I thought he was doing my team instead. I was about to knock them all back into my team, bruh. We have no heals. We should back out. I'm gonna break this wall for you, Mag. You might be able to get through. Come here, Mag. Come here, Mag. You can get out.
They've made it halfway. Stop them.
Yeah, well, you're alone. You're alone. You're alone. You're alone.
Seems we have company.
Better stop
Like
that
that guy.
vehicle.
He doesn't know how to use it. He doesn't know how to use it.
Behold the god of thunder!
There's still a chance to.
One Thor. Throw one. Throw one. Throw one. Bruh.
I'm just gonna go triple support. Bot.
Like a bad
They
penny.
hit a checkpoint.
Keep coming
Now
back.
might be a good time to stop them. Better stop that vehicle.
I'll swap.
Ready for
There's.
combat.
He's not in voice,
Yeah, I'm sure
bruh.
triple support. We should try and make it. We should just stabilize. Yeah.
There's no way my Mag is saying
I don't
that.
think Wolverine. I think I was.
Wolverine's
Yo,
low.
Madman! Welcome back, buddy. Where are we?
It's now or never. Stop them. Us against the world.
I got Thor. I got Thor. I got Thor to my mind.
We are undefeatable. Oh no! Look
Do
behind
we have ults?
I mean, I don't know what we're doing here, guys.
We're just, you guys are just
Don't give them
dying.
another inch.
Like,
Or else. Better stop that vehicle.
You ult?
we don't even touch card. How are we? How, like,
Um,
how are we not touching art?
Zero.
How can you guys not touch cart with
three.
support ult?
Time to switch things up.
Okay,
Including
so
which
we
side
need
you're on.
we need to change here. We need to.
My backline needs to stop dying to
Anyone
nothing.
stands in my way.
Can
they
we
won't be
maybe
standing
instead of a
much
Loki,
longer.
can we
You'll
get
need a top-notch
a?
team.
Yo, I
No.
don't think
This
it's
one.
anything other than the fact that we had Wolverine and Iron Fist, and you finally swapped after getting
don't-
shit on for 3 points.
Okay, then what happened that last point? Because it clearly wasn't.
We
'cause-
literally swapped the last 30 seconds.
Okay,
It's
you
called
were
That's
ulting
just,
in-
it
you
wasn't
were
a
ulting in
comp.
a
No,
cloak
they-
ult.
they
got
literally
bullbait.
You were
have-
ulting in a cloak ult and didn't touch point. Shut the fuck up, retard.
What are you talking about? I was retard. I know you are not talking.
I've carried this rage since I was
Holy
born.
fuck. You're ulting in
You
a
are
cloak ult
not
and
saying
touching the card.
retard with a lisp, okay?
Oh my god.
Alright,
Learn-
speech
learn to take some,
impediment.
learn to
Yo,
take some
speech
accountability.
impediment,
Learn
speech
to take some
impediment.
accountability,
30
you
seconds
fucking
before
idiot,
you
dude. I got more
attack.
stuff
Yo.
than
Get
than you will ever have. Anyone will ever know you, bro.
hell?
You know my weapons can still
Don't
lock
ever call
onto you
anyone a
even when
retard
you
whenever you
think
sound like that.
Yo, don't call. Yo,
Then what do you mean take accountability,
You're
bro?
3-3, bro. You're 3-3. You're blaming
That's
everyone
the
else besides
best on the
yourself.
team.
You're blaming everyone else besides yourself. How is it never your fault?
Yo,
How is
what
it
do you
never your
mean,
fault?
bro?
Yo.
You guys were on.
Oh my god,
You
go
were
back to
the
Mindplex.
first
Go
pick
back
of
to
the
Mindplex.
first
Go
fight.
back- Please, go back to Mindplex, please.
Yo,
No one wants-
yeah,
no one wants you here.
yeah, because Iron Fist really worked there. You delusional
All you
brain
need to
dead
do is
fuck.
capture the mission area. Got it?
Everything most decidedly does not happen
fucking
for a
Christ,
reason.
man.
Did he tell that
But,
guy to
alright,
go back to my
game is
plex?
still winnable. Game is still winnable. Shut
Yo,
the fuck
fire
up.
Jared Goff, bro. You football head. Get out of my ear, bro.
Yeah, this game is still winnable.
Go
Shut the
fucking
fuck
watch
up.
the game or something.
I got Thor. Thor.
Black Panther behind. Black Panther behind.
Fuck, I almost killed him.
Black Panther can definitely touch. Try and push him away.
Yo, fire Jared Goff, bro. You should use all your sub money to get a speech therapist.
Yo, you have not gotten a kill yet.
Why do you have a list?
Speak to me when you get a kill. Speak to me when you get a
You
kill.
guys, you guys do realize we can win
You
this
were
game,
just
right?
calling me out for being 3-3. What are you talking about?
We do realize we can win this game, right? If we just like lock in.
Yeah, this guy can't lock in. It's he's not allowed to.
Yo,
He's not-
Jared
he's unable
Goff,
to.
the only thing that can't lock in is your tongue.
Yeah, bro, shut up. We win the game.
Like this guy's, his parents don't love him. It's okay.
Your parents didn't. Your parents don't love you, clearly.
Shut up. We can
You're
win
what,
the game.
20
We
or
can
something
win.
without a
Dude,
with the speech
dude,
impediment?
Dude, I could buy you a house.
20, you're 20 with the speech impediment? What are you
Bakab,
talking about?
yo, Bakab, shut the fuck
Your
up.
parents
We can win the
literally
game, you
don't-
monkey.
they
Stop
don't
talking, you
lie.
fucking monkey. Shut up.
Like a dumbass.
Shut up. We can win, bro.
You sound like a joke. Your voice is
Shut up,
stupid.
random. Shut up. You're like, it's crazy.
I'm 6 and
More money than you. You always have more money than you. Go ban for ban with me right now. Please, I beg. Go ban for ban. I would love to.
Yo,
I
I'm about to
can't.
say your R's, S's, and T's. How about that? What are your W's?
Let's go ban for ban.
Say
right
idiot, idiot.
now. Let's go ban for ban right
Say
now.
W. You can't even pronounce words. Stop talking to me.
Let's go ban
Ban
for
for
ban
ban.
right now.
You sound like a child,
for
bro.
ban,
You
let's
sound
go,
like a
let's
little
go.
idiot.
Let's go.
Your
right
whole
now.
life you're gonna sound like a joke to everyone because you're not clear.
Let's go. Let's go ban for ban right now.
You sound like a joke.
Let's go ban for ban. I'm the joke. Let's go ban for ban. Everyone is getting mad.
You can't properly pronunciate any words because you're an idiot.
You can't make fun of my gameplay because I'm actually playing the
Yo,
top
get it,
level.
get a speech therapist, you
I'm
fucking
playing
freak.
top level. And the only thing you haven't used my voice. You think my YouTube comments haven't said that to me a million times, bro? YouTube comments have said much worse shit than you've ever
Yo,
said. You are the
get a
least creative
speech
person.
therapist.
You are. Get creative. At least get creative with it. At least get creative with it. Get creative with it. You can't. You don't have any creative insults.
Okay, you're 2 and 7.
You don't have any creative insults. It's crazy. It's crazy,
No,
man.
you're 2 and 7.
Crazy, man. It's crazy.
I'm telling you,
Figure it
you're
out.
2 and
Figure
7.
it out. Figure it out, man.
Have you made any creative insults?
Figure it out.
Come
bro.
on, you
Figure it
tell
out. Let's
me.
go ban. Let's go ban for ban right now.
Ban for ban, bro. You can't even
This
speak
is
to
the
me.
most brain dead shit I've ever heard in my
You will
life.
never be happy. You will never find love because no girl's ever gonna date some loser like you who sounds like you.
Crazy.
Imagine trying to introduce some joke like you to their parents, bro.
Crazy because I'm married to a beautiful model, in fact. Look her up. I'm the cover of Victoria's Secret, dumbass.
This is
What is it? A Make-A-Wish? A
this
Make-A-Wish
is
model?
the most brain
You
dead
sound like a
shit.
Make-A-Wish model, if anything. So
I cannot believe what I'm
Insane,
listening
dude.
to right now.
Dude, everyone in my-
Make-A-Wish model. Get out of my ear.
Everyone in my chat is telling me that you have never.
Everyone in my chat.
life.
We are
Everyone in my chat.
There's not a soul in your chat.
Well, actually, you tried really hard.
Throw one. Throw one. Throw one, bro. They're literally all on 1 HP. Oh my god. How are they not dead, bro? Yeah, do I need to save my...
Look, guys, he went his Lord profile picture so that he has no wife. Shows that he hasn't gone off the game. You're telling me I'm the virgin? You have a fucking
Yo.
Lord profile picture.
Yo,
I'm the virgin. I'm the virgin though.
you
The right
definitely
ears
are,
could make
you
all
fucking
the difference.
badass.
I'm the virgin though.
You definitely are. Listen to your voice. Like actually listen, like record your voice and listen to it. Are you insecure about your voice?
No, dude.
You should be. You fucking should be.
Dude, I got 300K subs on YouTube that don't care about my voice.
You really don't. 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 You really don't.
Oh, are you dead? You wanna look it up? I'll give it to you right now. Say you want it. Say you want it. Say, beg me. Say please, daddy.
Our next victims.
What are you talking
Victims
about?
and ID.
Look, we know you're not gonna drop a fucking YouTube of you being in it.
You have not.
And you're just gonna stay. You're gonna stay this loser. You're gonna stay. Hey, you're gonna stay the speech impediment loser that you are.
This is unreal.
Look it up.
have 300 Spain! 300! 300!
More money.
You sound like a joke, bro.
Yeah, I have more money than you. That's sad. That's sad. You're saying this joke.
Still sound like a joke, bro.
Congrats.
Hey, no money will ever buy testosterone, you fucking idiot. Well, actually, it will. Maybe you should get some
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say you can.
That's because you're low IQ.
Hey, but not natural. Not natural. Hey,
There's
maybe you can buy a hair transplant or something, you know, get a beard on you.
I'm the only one who's not negative.
No, grow a parent. Grow a parent. Learn how to speak. Yep.
You shall not be harmed. This should limit any damage. Render me assistance. You need not fear. We're vastly outnumbered. You cannot hurt me.
Just in time.
You are restored. We feel much better. I shall not be removed so easily. Our foes draw near.
I got you.
You shall not be harmed.
You need to stop that vehicle in
What
its
the
tracks.
fuck was that?
I feel like myself again. You are under my protection. This should limit any damage.
Better stop that vehicle.
You cannot hurt me.
Behold that child! Disappear!
Render me assistance. Insignificant mass.
He said IGN.
Problem solved.
Gaming's back, I guess. Did the username was yo, what the fuck was that?
I am ready to put on a show!
Bring on the chaos.
Take a look here. Thanks, love.
Mutants
All of our leadership, we may need to rouse up. Climate
How you
I
need
pocket thanks for 10, bro.
Double KO!
Oh my goodness.
much better.
Now you're up. Anyone stands in my way, they will be standing much longer.
There's still a chance to stop them! Who am I gonna banish from this match? Clear the way!
You are under my protection. A shield. Perfect. All systems smash. I'm halting. Oh, here
He
they are.
stopped them in their tracks!
That was he's a Minecraft YouTuber. That's so funny.
Your god is suffering.
Disappear!
That's
The
funny.
more
That
the
makes that
shall
even
not be
funnier.
removed
That was
so
on brand.
easily.
That was on brand. That was fucking.
By the eye of Agamotto.
That shit was
Better.
The best part is like the best part is the guy who said that we lost because our comp was wrong, because that's just not why we lost.
In his final moments.
He wasn't even wrong. Oh man. We're losing because we're on Wolverine, Iron Fist. It's like, no, like you guys are also dying on cooldown.
My power cannot
Maximum
be
you can't die to start the fight.
The dog's taking shortcuts.
They hit a checkpoint. Now might be a good time to stop them. Round one.
In his final moments.
We'll be coming in 30
Behold!
seconds.
That child! I am barely hard.
My power cannot be quelled.
I'm hulking.
Nabokov Loki was bad. No, we actually listen. Why do I have a Jeff,
Battle
bro?
starts in 5.
You need not fear.
3, 2, 1.
This guy Jeff on my team.
We have to stop them from securing the mission area.
Insignificant gnats.
You know the game is good when the voice chat that's heated wrong.
That should be sufficient.
Disappear! Stop them!
It's my mag. It's my mag. It's my mag. Robots game. Let's get it played.
Maximum pulse. I shall not be removed so easily.
Better stop that vehicle! Don't give them another inch! Or else.
Oh, I dodged him.
Fine by me.
I am ready to put on a show!
No way that my fucking dumbass team got bulldozed when I actually showed their back like that. Who died on my team first, chat? I think I need to get the Venom every time. If my fucking dumbass team keeps dying to their dive,
I need assistance.
we should be fine.
You need not fear.
Black Panther
Your attacks are futile. Tremble before fast.
Behold! That child!
You want protection. Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Wasn't very nice, was it? This mutant carves his own path, old man.
And I'm behind, bro.
Your powers are mine.
Behold! That child!
Tremble before fast.
Dude, like where? No, we dead ass might lose this dive solely because we have a jet player. You're honestly, maybe it's worth to keep a wall on our back line for when they die them, and we just kill them in the back.
There's still a chance to stop them.
Let's do this. Even better than my mutant power.
Bro, fuck.
AC9, bro, you serious?
Now might be a good time to stop them.
And I'm stuck on the fucking wall that we closed.
I've healed from 100 times.
Chat, I
worse.
fear that my team is going to lose this game.
Yo, maybe an actual useful healer because we actually have people who are doing so much damage on the other team. That would help a lot, actually. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I mean. Well, they stabbed me. Stuck in this, and probably will die.
Imagine we had a support ult instead of a Jeff ult, dude. That'd be crazy. That would be nuts.
Yeah, we kind of do need to get off the Jeff or go third support.
Don't give them another inch. Or else.
I
I have dealt with mental and emotional struggles for a very long time. I was also dealing with the fear of embracing negative emotions.
He was suspended for 7 games earlier this month for conduct detrimental to the team, then 2 games for missing a team flight, and finally an indefinite suspension on Monday.
The right heroes could make all the
as
difference.
he was set to return to face the Magic. Okay, Brian Windhorst available to join us now. He's back from Paris. You know, I just find it unbelievable, Stephen A. We've been doing the show 10, 13 years. We've never been to Paris.
We don't live like Wendy.
Wendy's
We don't
probably
live
got
like
a
Wendy.
crib out there. You know, he's just right by that Eiffel Tower always. Great to see you, Wendy. Let's dive right in. Brian, what happens next in this Riley versus Butler saga?
Be wary.
Well,
no
Jimmy Butler's going to get traded. I
exists
wasn't
where
sure about
Magneto
that maybe
yields.
7 to 10 days ago. I really am more sure than ever that that's going to happen. The Heat are trying to make it happen.
Alas, we can no
they have
longer
backed
hide
down
from the
on their
dangers
asks
that lie beyond
teams
our
that they had
shores.
2-3 weeks ago when this whole saga
We'll be
really
coming in
started.
30
They're willing to
seconds.
do
Stay
more.
strong.
And I think that there is really a chance now that more teams I think are going to wade in here because the price on Butler is going to be lower than just the Phoenix Suns, which is the way it's been. But I have to say, working on this story every day for 6-7 weeks, this is truly one of the most immovable forts meets impenetrable objects I've ever seen in my 22 years covering the NBA.
4,
Because
3,
basically Jimmy Butler
2,
and Pat
1.
Riley have gone head to head, unwilling to waver. Riley's
Stop
saying
that vehicle in
play
its
and we'll deal with it later. Jimmy first saying pay me and then saying I don't care whether you pay me or not, trade me, and basically not backing down. Both of them used to getting what they want. Both of them with a tremendous track record of winning head-to-head competitions. And so I actually think there's a couple of fascinating things about this, guys. One is this Riley-Butler war. I mean, you can honestly, and the backroom machinations are even more fascinating when they all come out. You could do a mini-series on this battle back and forth. The second thing is, I think there's a chance, and nothing is for sure. I really want to make it clear, I can't predict how this is going to go, but I do think there's a chance that there's a team out there that might be able to pick up a difference-making player for relatively cheap in this next week. Jimmy Butler's price is at a point where more teams are in. There could be a bit of a power shift. I don't think any of the top teams are going to get him. I think you're looking at teams that are in the middle of the pack, older teams that need a Hail Mary right now, that may be looking at whether they can acquire him. And so this could be a key turning point in this NBA season.
That's where you and I disagree, Wendy. I don't think a middle-of-the-road team would want Jimmy Butler or should want him. Because I think that in this
Against the world.
you know,
Focus on the battle. Hold still.
the moon haunts you. Not to dismiss him or to insult him. I'm saying what he has intended purposely, and in doing so, he did it against Pat Riley. That's not something that management in other places want to embrace. You know that just as well as I do. The exception is if you're knocking on the door of a championship. You believe this brother could be that tipping point to help you get overboard. If you're the Milwaukee Bucks, I think it warrants consideration. If you're the Phoenix Suns, it most certainly warrants consideration. You got Kevin Durant, the great Kevin Durant. Obviously, the Beals, the Devin Bookers, and others. Somebody probably would have to go, but you're talking about comparing Jimmy Butler with 2 of those 3 guys, meaning a Kevin Durant and either, of course, because Booker ain't going nowhere. But I'm just saying, if you have Butler under those circumstances, what he would bring to that locker room, Shannon and Wendy, I don't think can be ignored. But I think here's the interesting element that has to be discussed. I'm more interested in Jimmy Butler is the latest in the line of players who have been disgruntled over contract issues and what have you, and have forced their way out of situations. We've seen this happen with James Harden. We've seen this happen with other people. That part is not new. What's interesting is Miami is the organization that they are. their locale. It's supposed to be an attractive destination. It's one thing if Jimmy Butler departs because he says, you didn't want to pay me my money, and that's that. If it comes to a point where Jimmy Butler becomes a bit more outspoken, and dare I say, he starts complaining about a culture that we've all revered and held in high regard all of these years, and he tries to paint a different picture about the culture in Miami, then we start looking at LeBron walking out the door, even though he was never going to stay more than those 4 years. He was always playing in the league. Then we're going to look at Kevin Durant and how he didn't end up there. Then we're going to look at Damian Lillard and how he wanted to get there, but Miami couldn't get him there. And then if you hear Jimmy Butler talking about the organization, you never know how that's going to affect other dudes in the future. You're the Miami Heat. You have to think about those kind of things. Your reputation does matter. We know Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, future Hall of Fame coach, and everybody in between under Mickey Harris's organization has always been A-list, first class. I know I'll vouch for them any day of the week, twice on Sunday. But nevertheless, those are going to be questions that people are going to have, and it's going to be real interesting to see how fallout Shannon from the whole Jimmy Butler situation materialize.
They hit a checkpoint.
And I get what
Now
Jimmy
might be
said
a
about
good time
want my
to
money.
stop them.
What Pat Riley is saying, I don't see the upside. He said, I can't give you 120 a two-year extension based on what you've done. I got to give you 120 million based on what I believe you can do. That's what a contract extension signifies, Stephen A. Wendy. I believe if I give you this money, moving forward, you're going to show the value in it. I'm not going to pay you because I've already paid you for what you've done. I've already given you a max deal. So I'm not about to give you a max extension because I believe you're on the downside of your career. I just don't like the way Jimmy's handled this. He knew what he was doing. He's just like, I don't care. Maybe they go to the PA and they contest this, and they go to arbitration, and he gives some of his money or all of his money back. But I just think Jimmy has handled this really, really poorly, and it looks bad on him. I believe it looks worse on him than it does Pat Riley. He was still getting paid, even though he didn't like. No, he's not getting paid now because he's been contract that he missed. So he was paid to try to do that. I just don't like the way Jimmy handled this, and this is not the way to do business.
What are your thoughts about it?
You know what, though, Shannon?
Guard your rear.
Shannon, here's the thing. I agree that Jimmy looks bad here, but he's getting what he wants. And I think that's the takeaway tonight. You know, a month ago, Pat Riley put out a statement that I'm not trading. Now he's going to get traded. And because he's behaved this way, and I don't endorse him, but because he's behaved this way, there are teams that want to trade for him that won't because they know he doesn't want to come there. And if you get a player who doesn't want to come somewhere, you know, he's basically able to control where he's going in a certain way. So, like, on one hand, I agree you would never encourage someone to behave this way, but if he gets what he wants at the end of it, how can you say it wasn't worth it? And by the way, I think he will get the majority of his money back. These suspensions, they're kind of ridiculous in how long they are. The Heat are just making a point. And to what you said, Stephen A., Pat Riley has done this for years. When it was time to say goodbye to Shaq, he kicked Shaq out the door. When he didn't want to pay Dwayne Wade, he kicked Dwayne Wade out the door. Even Alonzo Mourning, as tight as that relationship is, they reached the end of the road at one point. Alonzo left, he hadn't come back. He will say goodbye to you. And look, you're in Seaport today. You're right there with Molly. I see a lot of days, Mr. Smith, where you've got a beautiful water behind you. Where are you at there? You go down there because people want to be in Florida. Pat Riley was running the Minnesota Timberwolves. He wouldn't behave this way. He's running the Miami Heat, has for 30 years. He knows he can get people there, and he operates accordingly. Jimmy operates accordingly, too. It's fascinating to watch.
Hold on. There's no evidence that he gets people there. Where's your evidence? The fact of the matter is,
you got Jimmy Butler there. I've got LeBron there. I've got Chris Bosh there.
Wait a minute. Well, first of all, we know D Wade did that. Let's get that straight right now. D Wade was the one that pulled that off. Let's understand that. I mean, I'm sorry, organization, but he needed D Wade to go out there and recruit. That's why D Wade was so bitter initially when he had to end up the party because he knew what he had done for the organization. So we got to get that out the way. That's number one. Number two. When you talk about Pat Riley, you're absolutely right, but let's ask ourselves this question, and it's just a question. Did Pat Riley hurt himself by initially saying we're not trading you? Did he hurt himself in that regard? Because it might not have been necessary for Jimmy to get to this point. If Pat Riley hadn't been dogged about, I'm not moving. Well, wait a minute, it's one thing to say I'm not going to pay you because I don't see the upside. But then I'm not going to let you get away to anybody else either when the man is telling you he wants to leave. That's something that we got to take into consideration as well. We got to be, listen, do we all condone how Jimmy has handled this? No, but in the same breath, is he getting what he wanted? Like you said, Wendy, yes, because now Pat Riley is going to trade him. Well, if you're going to trade him now, how come you said a month ago that you wasn't going to trade him? You compelled him to act this way, to force his way out, because initially you were dogging about keeping his services in Miami, even though you were not going to pay him that extension. So again, it's going to be interesting to see who looks worse and who this ultimately is going to affect positively and negatively. That's all.
Get in there.
Yeah. You got to be careful, guys, rewarding negative behavior. My grandpa used to always say, if a kid acts up, you don't give him candy or ice cream. You don't reward negative behavior. Jimmy Butler, and this is what he's always done. If you go look at his situation in Chicago, you go look at his situation in Minnesota, he's always gotten rewarded for negative behavior. He's not going to stop this. He'll go to the next organization, and if he doesn't get his way, he'll buck again, because he's been constantly rewarded for the negative behavior that he's displayed. Somebody needs to break the plate. That's what we say in the South, Stephen A. When you want to check something or stop a bad behavior, you break his plate. Somebody, some organization needs to break Jimmy Butler's plate.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Kingdoms update for Darkest Dungeon 2. It's here. It's finally here. It's my Christmas. This is a free update for the game. You can get this right now if you happen to have Darkest Dungeon 2, and if you don't have it, luckily you're on the Steam store page, so it's the perfect place for you to go ahead and pick it up. Along with the Abomination DLC, the second paid DLC for the game, introducing, as you might guess, the Abomination character, which I'm very, very happy to play. Or excited to play, I should say. Big thanks to the team, by the way, for sponsoring our Look at the Kingdoms update today. There will, of course, be a link down in the description below if you're watching this VOD over on youtube.com/BearTaffy. I am super excited to check this out. So let's dive right in. We're going to start a brand new Kingdoms run here. My very first one. I've played a little bit of this just to get through the tutorialized elements and kind of familiarize myself with what's generally going on, so yeah, other than that, it's going to be a fresh experience for all of us, so let's do it. Brand new game in the Kingdoms mode. The kingdom teeters on the brink of destruction. New and terrifying forces rally their strength and attempt to seize upon the vulnerable population. Assemble your party, complete the quest, destroy the enemy leader before time runs out. So this is the first of 3 modules planned for the Kingdoms mode. The first one we got today is the Hunger of the Beast Clan. We'll be getting 2 additional ones at some point through 2025, and I can definitely put out a couple of guesses as to what I suspect these are going to be. I'm thinking we may be returning to the Crimson Court fairly soon here, so that's exciting stuff. But anyway, yeah, let's try it out. Hunger of the Beast Clan, Bear Kingdoms, Steam, test. Yeah, that's good enough. All right, let's do it. In we go. First run. The kingdom is under siege. Bestial horrors stampede through the country in wanton herds. Striking with swift ferocity, they spread chaos, poison, and death as the land trembles to the drumbeat of thundering hooves. Refugees flock to the inns. So on top of a new game mode, of course, we're also getting new Wayners, new characters, new enemies, new voice lines. What appear to be even more updates to the animations and just the art in general. Everything just looks a little better, which has just been kind of par for the course as far as these updates go. So excited for that too. We got 3 map selections to choose from this time, and this will obviously be something I can give more consideration to once I'm actually more familiar with what to expect. But I'll just go ahead and go with the last stand to start us off here and see what the default map mode looks like. And we also get a difficulty selection here with some modifiable sections. If the enemy boss is not defeated before this day limit, the kingdom will be overrun. Okay, so that's our win condition. Day 2, or sorry, Escalation 2 arrives on the 15th day, with Escalation 3 on the 33rd. Okay. This setting influences how many sieges spawn to attack the inns. We get the amount of heroes in the kingdom. Starting skills will leave as standard. Skills I'll need to game. That's first experience. Put together our first party here, it looks like, and also get our first look at a Bigby. Oh yeah, look at this, man. I knew we'd have to spend a couple of minutes here just admiring the three-dimensional, fully realized rendition of the Abomination. Look at them, man. Oh my goodness. That is a lot of chains. That's... I mean, it's mostly just for dramatic effect, right? I mean, that's not gonna do anything. We just want to see them metal locks pop, apparently. I love the shadow of the proper creature itself in the back, too. That's awesome. Oh, man. So good. All right, well, obviously, he's coming along for the first run here.
Beaten and branded. This vagrant is more dangerous than he seems.
Oh, baby. That's exciting. And of course, given the fact that we have the option to do so now, it definitely feels like I ought to go ahead and bring out a bounty hunter for a full run, right?
He has no past, no future, no mercy.
I can see that, yeah, apparently. Still has to hold the cape himself. You know, buddy, you could just tie that around. I think it might stick okay, but yeah, you do you, I guess. I do want to have Flagellant around. I think it might stick okay, but yeah, you do you, I guess. You can just tie that companion things up, but for these characters, just the difference. Distancing symbol up here, of course. Nothing crazy. Result of us a little bit of playing in the Kingdoms mode. It's the first escalation, which means thankfully our heroes get a little bit of a buff. Plus 20% damage and plus 15% max HP, so gonna be feeling pretty good for a little first companion bombs all about. Feel free to out. Oh baby. Let me get my face out of the way so you guys can enjoy the combat fully. This will be our first experience with the Beastmen. Let's take a look. The Tribe Walker to start off with. Oh man. I obviously have been very excited for this update for the Abomination as well to be released, but just this in this game arms me that they released these two things simultaneously. I believe the Kingdoms update should be dropping basically any minute here. Moment here. So yeah, there we go. Our first two huntsmen. We'll try out our first Abomination skills here as well. Of course, as I mentioned, we're not actually able to utilize all of the skills yet. We're going to be unlocking those as we go through this Kingdoms campaign. So let's take a look at what he's got first. So the Manacles makes a return. That's a familiar one for our DD1 players out there. I really like just seeing like the wind up to the skills as well. Has always been a fun element of things here. The Abomination looking up to the sky, and then this is my favorite, obviously. Just the fact that when you click that button, my favorite, obviously, has been a fun element of things here. The Abomination looking up to the sky, and then this is my favorite, obviously. Just the fact that when you click that button, that happens, man. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool, dude. I don't have anything intelligent to say about it. It's just like, ah, damn, dude, that's cool as hell. All right, let's give him a backlash. And then Bounty Hunter to start out with here. So we've got the unupgraded versions of these skills for the first time. Typically, the Bounty Hunter is not a character that you're able to bring out for an entire run. In the Confessions game mode for DD2, you're only able to utilize the Bounty Hunter for a single region, and then you have to pay him in candles, which is the meta progression currency for the game, for his services. So it's pretty cool for us to be able to use him for an entire campaign here. That's a fun little mix-up to the formula. I'm not sure if he has pass. That's a good question. I should check into that. See, that'll be working a little bit differently from the way we're used to as well, where normally in the Stagecoach, we would be able to select paths for our characters. I kind of brushed over that, actually. I'm just now realizing normally we'd be able to do that, but not actually an option immediately anyway. In the Kingdoms mode, that'll be something that we unlock via the in upgrades, which we'll learn quite a bit more about very soon. Oh, that's a great question as well. Yeah, there's a new token here on the Beastmen. Let me take you through the explanation there. So they will become enraged. I believe it is when they... In a second. I mean, we might as well transform, right? Obviously, it's not going to be very impactful here, but I just want to show you guys how it looks. So here's the Abom properly transforming for the first time. Again, the shackles are for show, man. Come on, he just wants to bust out of that stuff. You got your typical rake and rage here up front for the Abomination. I think I'm gonna try to let this. Well, he's gonna stay alive anyway. I guess I was gonna say I wanna let him get his berserk off here, just so you guys can see what's going on with that. So there's the 3 enrage tokens traded off for a berserk token, which enables powerful skills, fully reduces damage taken. Although they are vulnerable to DOT still in this form, but any attempt we make to actually attack them here is going to be essentially fully negated. Oh, right, yeah, I just realized we can attack again with him after we transform.
Excellent work.
Crit for 0. What are you, an occultist? Har, har, har. Okay. Thankfully, we can still debuff him. Flashbang, unfortunately. Ooh, wow, Flashbang unupgraded is actually kind of stinky. Target shuffle and daze is not really going to be doing a lot for us here, so let's just add a combo. Maybe a little bit more helpful. Should get us a better chance of getting this blight applied anyway, so we'll try that. All right, now we get to see the first berserk action, courtesy of the Beastmen. And Foul Deed, which of course normally would be hitting for a little bit more, and also applies a pretty chunky amount of blight there, so there you go.
A righteous action.
Brantex asks, so you unlock the Abomination memories and skills during the Kingdoms mode or only in Confession? And sorry, I'm kind of... So, let me see if I can fix that. The goat, indeed. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, you can see back there, the inn has seen better days. The tribesmen had something to say about that. That'll be a focal point moving forward here as we attempt to rebuild and restore this place. Now, transform, it's very similar to how things worked in DD1. It's a risk-reward situation. You might think, obviously, you know, his stronger skills are locked behind this ability, so why would you not just do this all the time? There's that little matter of stress down there. You can see whenever we activate this ability, allies gain 1 stress guaranteed and have a chance to gain an additional stress point. So that piles up very, very quickly. And unfortunately on Revert, he only stress heals himself. So it makes a lot of sense to me to try to be a little bit more conservative with those. Especially in fights where we don't necessarily feel like we need the, you know, the additional help here. I am gonna probably need to try to unlock some other occultist skills as well, although that's gonna be, there's a lot of considerations to be made, I'll just say that much. We're gonna get into the first inn here and really take a proper look at what's going on, but there's a lot of different things we need to weigh as far as what the best initial decision is going to be here. There is a lack of stress healing with this team, but thankfully... Oh boy, there's another one of those berserk moves, by the way. I failed to realize he was already on the 3 stacks of Enrage, so that's a particularly nasty one. He's got the AoE with a little bit of stress accumulated as well. Pretty gnarly. But yeah, we'll be ideally addressing the lack of stress healing here with some new characters I was mentioning earlier, but we'll more than likely be utilizing just about every character in the game through the course of our Kingdoms run here. Looks like this guy's got enough bleed to be taking him out, so I don't think I have to worry about that. We got the mark damage bonus on this guy. Unfortunately, he's out of range for the collect bounty, so I think maybe we'll just go ahead and pull him forward and we'll just take the hit from the riposte. You know, try to anyway. They do get bonus enrage from their fellow huntsmen falling. A little vengeance mechanic going on with them, so I gotta be mindful of that. There we go. No sweat. Okay. Yeah, not a lot of death armor so far on these guys, but I'm assuming that's because we're, you know, pretty early on here. Inn suffers no damage, by the way, so that's going to be another factor here while we're taking on those fights. That was triggered from entering the Inn, by the way, which is another new thing for the Kingdoms mode. Typically, when you reach the end of a region in the Confessions mode, you just enter the Inn, and that represents the end of it. But in a lot of these, regions that we'll be going through here, we will have to battle through a few enemies just to access the inn at the end of that region. So we got to be mindful of that as we're going forward here.
However dilapidated, this inn might still serve honorably.
The Beastmen roam unchallenged. To secure the safety of the kingdom, you must complete the quest and slay the leader of the horde before the day limit runs out. All quest steps are communicated on item descriptions. Read them carefully. So this was very exciting to me when I realized they were doing it this way. The Crusader that was released as part of the first paid DLC for this game a little while back, the Binding Blade, you unlock that character via what I thought was a really fun continuous quest that you had to complete through the course of a campaign. It involved like collecting quest items like this and utilizing them in certain ways, looking for specific encounters, and I thought to myself as I was doing this, like, this could be a whole thing in this game. It seems like a perfectly functional mechanic to just, like, you know, like, expand on and do for other characters, and that seems like exactly what's happening here, which makes me very happy. So we start out here with the Spyglass, a stagecoach item that we'll have to equip in order to proceed. But like it said, we also need to pay attention to what it's saying in the item description, because it's not directly telling us what to do, but if we pay attention, it might as well be. So it says, we must anticipate the herd's movement. An elevated vantage point would afford us a look at the beast's path. So, players unfamiliar with Darkest Dungeon, obviously, I'm not looking to you to immediately know what this is referring to, but I think the DD2 players out there probably have an idea in mind of what we're supposed to do with this thing. So we'll go ahead and take that. We're going to be equipping that on the stagecoach, and it looks like Chen gained a quirk, so we'll see what that's going to be. Oh boy. Do we have slimes already? I haven't seen any slimes yet. Okay, that could be interesting. Chthonian Slayer? I don't even know how to say that word, man. Alright, cool. Well, we'll take that. And now we get our first look at the map.
Let us face the coming cruelties undaunted.
I'm not actually sure, Rainbow. What happens if you don't complete it in the day limit? Are you locked out on that save file? I believe that would just represent, like, a loss, and I think that would mean just, like, this campaign would be done and, you know, have to move on to the next one. Pretty much just a win and loss condition, I think. Look at this map, though, man.
Adversaries grow bold. Punish them for it.
Just want to give this a once-over here to appreciate the artwork once more. The overhead view with, like, kind of a fog of war going on as you mouse over things like this. That's pretty fun. So yeah, this is our Kingdoms map. And we've got our little indicator up here to show us where the stagecoach actually is. There's several icons on this map that you're probably very curious about. So let's start going over these right now. Beginning with our little character profiles. So all of the party members are involved in this campaign, as I've mentioned a couple of times. It's just they're not all immediately available to us. You can see they're actually kind of scattered across this entire area. We've got the Hellion down here. We've got the Duelist over here in the Forgotten Home. We've got the Jester down here in the Fleet Florin. So we're going to be trying to utilize these characters as best we can to defend the homestead, essentially, to protect, pardon me, to protect the inns and the the other areas of interest that we might be interested in defending here. But it is not as easy as we would like to involve those characters that way. The primary way you'll be doing it is to be moving them by sending them on a swift horse, which we'll do by holding down the left click here and then just selecting which region we want them to go to. So moving one region is free, aka there's no penalty to it. Sorry, hold on, I'm trying to remember. There we go. And then the 2 region penalty is there is fatigue added, and there's also a chance for other negative effects. Fatigue is another mechanic, by the way, that we'll go over more once it reveals itself again here. But essentially it just means that the characters you use through the course of the Kingdoms campaign will get more and more tired as you go, and you'll have to give them a chance to rest up and swap some other folks in, which is another really great way to allow you to utilize all the characters in the same campaign. So yeah, you got the Vestal over here, all scattered around, and it's not necessary, I think, just yet for us to start moving folks all about. I don't necessarily know where the action is going to be just yet, and especially while we can see that the Forgotten Home is actually under siege at the moment, as you can see by this icon and also by clicking on the inn itself. We more than likely want to keep some folks defending that if we can. And I'm wondering, in fact, if maybe we can send a Hellion there now. Let's take a look. Oh, that's blocked off by... Okay, so it looks like in order to get between regions, we may actually have to go through and clear these areas ourselves. You can see, of course, the type of region that it will be by mousing over, and obviously you can probably tell just by the look of things for a lot of them as well. But new region, by the way, that we'll be going through here in the Kingdoms mode, the Tundra. And very curious to see what kind of enemies we're going to be seeing in there. In fact, that's going to be happening very soon, it looks like. So there's the overview for the Kingdoms map. I believe we'll be just heading to this camp here, but before we do so, let me go ahead and get you back to the Provisioner so you can get an idea of what's changed here as well. So this is a new material unique to the Kingdoms mode called Inn Materials. You're going to be using these a lot. There's quite a bit of value in these guys. Well, first of all, let's do this.
Improvement, a new variable in the equation of your fate.
Certainly don't want to forget this one. So in order to progress the Hunger of the Beast clan, we have to have this equipped to the Stagecoach. I'm going to go ahead and put that on right now.
Any advantage is a good thing.
And then back to the Provisioner.
Spend what you can, for wealth no longer has meaning.
This is pretty standard stuff for anybody that's played the game, but again, just for folks that may be new. Typically in inns, you will be given the opportunity to purchase goods from the Provisioner, who has anything from combat items to inn items to improve your relationships with your companions, to Stagecoach gear, which you can use to increase the effectiveness of the coach in things like location scouting and storage and that stuff. Trinkets as well, which are just straight up statistical bonuses for the most part for our characters, which none of these seem particularly appealing. But the other big thing that we're going to be doing in the inns now is the inn upgrades, which is what you use these inn materials for. So this is a lot. So let's just break it down section by section here very, very quickly, so you just have a general understanding of what's going on with this. But this is going to be one of the focal points of any Kingdoms run. This is going to be where a lot of your strength and potential to succeed is derived from. These inn materials can be used to unlock different upgrades here at the inns, whether that be Barracks, the Provisioner, the Mastery Trainer, the Wainwright, and the Physician. Respectively, the Barracks will just be increasing the effectiveness of your inns themselves. In fact, these first two unlocks that you can see have already been provided for this inn will award us 2 conscript fighters and 2 conscript arbalisters in siege defenses. I haven't actually seen what this does yet, but I have to imagine having some backup units is going to be pretty convenient for situations like that. And then Signal Flare can appear in the shop, which I don't think I've seen that either, but that's pretty interesting. Fighters will start sieges with a vague trinket. Arbalisters will start sieges with a vague trinket. So we could click and hold down if we wanted to unlock any of those. We can upgrade those to partisans, which, you know, I'm not extremely familiar with either, but sounds pretty fun. And then there's upgrades like this to the Provisioner, which will allow for distant trinkets and additional stagecoach items to appear in the shop. Just this shop, I believe, by the way. So that's one of the more important things to consider, as far as I can tell, when you're wondering what to utilize these end materials on initially. Because if I understand it correctly, these upgrades will only be applied to this inn.
Each day brings new obstacles and new opportunities.
Which means we won't be able to access and utilize those upgrades should we not decide to return up that way. I think, I'm not 100% sure I'm understanding that correctly, but I'm fairly sure that's how it works, meaning we should probably consider moving down further before spending too many of the end materials, and that way, maybe in something like the Rich Patrician, for example, we'd be able to get a couple of upgrades that we can maybe return to later and utilize again. And then, of course, another consideration we need to make looking at the map here is the fact that we want to get over to the siege as quickly as possible. I'm not sure if we'll actually be able to reach this one in time, but that's definitely going to motivate me as far as where to send the stagecoach next. Right, anyway. That would be the Provisioner upgrades there to get those combat in items, trinkets, and all that kind of stuff. Mastery Trainer, pretty straightforward. This unlocks the ability to unlock new skills as well as master skills, which, if I'm going to upgrade anything early on here, it would more than likely be that, but I do think we'll probably be well off enough with our default stuff with this team to where we could save these in materials and try to improve this in an inn a little further down the road. Wainwright's going to allow us to reduce the cost of stagecoach repairs. This coach, you'll notice, has these wheels and armor stats, which are impacted by obstructions in the roadway. So every now and then you'll run across like a rough road or an obstruction that damages your shielding on the coach, and you'll just have to keep that in mind as you're progressing here. And then the final one, the Physician, will allow us to cure disease, along with reducing fatigue, removing negative quirks, which are these things here that you can see on our creatures that they will acquire every now and then, depending on their encounters with enemies and interactions with nodes. We have Chthonian Slayer and Chthonian Hater on our Bounty Hunter, which I didn't realize until now, so he's going to be looking for a lot of swine and slime if he can, which I guess means we should hit the fetter if possible. So yeah, there we go. That's the gist of our in upgrades here with those materials. And let's go ahead and take a look at the relationships page while we're here as well, so you can see what's going on with that in the Kingdoms mode. So, as mentioned, everybody's involved here, and as a result, everybody wants to be friends. You're going to be managing the entire party's relationships here, and might even inform whether or not you bring certain folks along. But yeah, it's going to be a little more involved in this respect now. And let's see. I suppose we want to go ahead and feed these guys since we're moving out again. We got some stale bread for them. New combat item here, by the way, the Huntsman's Hatchet, which is going to be doing direct damage, along with removing a positive token and lowering their blight resist. So, it's shape here, but I think we want to go ahead and move forward. Can't actually use the Mastery Trainer here either, as a result of not having unlocked that capability via the in upgrades. So, we'll just hang on to those for now. I think that's us moving forward, so let's go ahead and go back to the Kingdom map. Oh, right, yeah, one more thing I wanted to do here is you can see that the Highwayman is actually here, so I think that means we can swap him in. I could have sworn I was doing that. Swap Dismas in the mix.
Rested, energized. A new ally for the Outriders.
So there you go. So the fatigue is a factor here. I'm trying to remember exactly where you saw that, but possible given as well. So it's always got to be mindful of that. And with only one option here, we'll go ahead and just move forward to this camp. Let's do it. Set the route.
The farms and fields of our kingdom.
Of course, you can see what kind of region we'll be going through here as well. But, yeah. Once you've set your intended destination, all that's left is to rest and get there. Thankfully, no relationship interactions yet, but I just want to take a second yet again for those that may be new to the game. Look off to the description again. We must anticipate the herd's movement. An elevated vantage point would afford us a look at the beast's path. All right, so all the DD2 players in Steam chat here with me. What would be an elevated vantage point? Of all the things on the map, of all the nodes you could get to, say it with me now. Ready? Watchtower. Yeah, that's right. You got it. So let's go to the Watchtower. Safe route there too, which is nice. Quick look at the map. Again, in case you're new, haven't seen this yet, this will give you a breakdown of what to expect in any given region you go to. There's little nodes indicating what kind of encounters that will be taking place there.
And lament.
The Watchtower, one of the nicer nodes to reach early on, as it provides us with excellent information about the remainder of the region. Of course, this is a pretty small region, so it's not going to give us a lot of info, but that did progress the Hunger of the Beast clan quest, as you can see. So the Watchtower provided us the perspective we needed. A hastily scrawled representation of the view from the Watchtower. It must be studied. A deliverable, meaning that we need to take it to the inn in order to progress the quest further. So for now, it's just a standard region. And I'm thinking we probably want to go ahead and try to take a couple of resistance encounters here. It makes a lot of sense to try to get some more in items, or sorry, in materials.
A welcome reprieve.
And combat is one of the very few ways in which you can get mastery points, and eventually we will be spending those to upgrade our skills and make us a little bit better off. That's a new item, it looks like. Rumor. What the heck? Enjoy the view. Don't forget to look under the loose floorboard. Okay.
Be wary.
Weird.
No timeline exists.
You know what? I gotta go ahead and equip those combat items as well while I've got them. All right, looking good. Got our Highwayman in the mix for the first time here. Let's see how they do. The Plague Eaters. And I think we want to take this combat. Yeah, we'll have to take a bit of a relationship hit here. Oh, my bad. My face disappeared. I'll have to take a bit of a relationship hit here. The Highwayman and Abomination disagreeing on the course of action.
What do you say? Want to be my new partner?
I said our old Feder friends are back.
I'll take what
Whoa! Oh! This is new. Look at this. Look at this little button up here.
Battle starts in 5.
We have a retreat
3,
ability now.
2, 1.
Very interesting. I wonder if that's going to be an all combat or if it's just maybe like normal or like resistant combat encounters. Okay, cool.
Temporarily to defeat the other.
All right, so we got the Highwayman back. He's got a little bit of positional shifting early on, although unfortunately without all of his skills unlocked, it may be a bit of a risk to go for that duelist advance. We'll just go ahead and start slicing him. Just start slicing him up, buddy. There you go. That's one down. And I'll yoink you forward, clear that corpse so you don't get to eat it. You know how much you love eating those, buddy. And then no utilization for the combo for the Abomination early on here, is there? So I suppose I'll just go ahead and put a block on myself and call it a day. Retreat in my darkest dungeon? I know. Certainly we will never be so cowardly as to click this button, but hey, at least it's nice to have the choice. Some strong damage out of the gate here, of course. Big thanks to our Escalation 1 providing us plus 20% damage across the board to all heroes. That's not always going to be the case, though. A little bear optimal there, a little bear optimal, no worries. Duelist advance to be back in the correct position here. A little riposte, too. Can we see the beast? Well, this is a dinner Carl. Or, sorry, dinner card. We call him dinner Carl, affectionately. This is a Plague Eater, though, actually, so this is not a new enemy. This is a staple of the Fetter here.
Always glad to help, partner.
Combo. Oh. Okay, so, again, we probably don't want to necessarily transform with the Abomination in situations like this if we can help it. We want to try to prevent as much stress being accrued as possible early on here, so we'll just go ahead and let him do things the old-fashioned way. The Bear Optimal on the board game. And of course, stress is going to be a bit of an issue early on. That's the, again, for newer players. I feel the need to clarify for old viewers that I'm not explaining new concepts for them. I know you know. Just for the Steam store folks, in case they're wondering about the stress mechanics, what those white pips are underneath each character. So each character has a stress limit of 10, stress often being applied either by events, sometimes randomly on the road as well. Characters will talk to each other and get stressed out. But primarily it comes from combat, and there are often skills that you can use to reduce stress in combat. Sadly, none of the characters that we have right now, besides the Abomination, who's able to remove some stress on himself, have that ability. So we're going to be looking for characters that are capable of doing so, hopefully sooner than later. Let's see, we got another positive interaction between the Abomination and the Cultist here. The Bounty Hunter doesn't like this one. It's interesting to have the Bounty Hunter care about relationships all of a sudden. Guess he got lonely. Wanted to make some friends.
I end them.
Alright, getting aggressive with the combat this time around. Let's see if we can,
Tech like this
you know, let's just go ahead and pull Big Boy forward, I think. Great question, Royan. Yeah, I probably should have finished that thought there, shouldn't I? What happens if you have too much stress? So if they reach that threshold of 10 stress, they'll get what's called a resolve check. And odds are very strong that the result of that resolve check will be a meltdown, which will bring them to, I believe it's 10 or 15% HP, and often will give them a negative quirk as well. So you want to avoid that. It's real bad. But there's also a very small chance when that happens, when you reach that stress threshold, that you will get what is called a resolute resolve check, meaning that your character decided, not this one, not today, and they will heal to fully remove their stress, and often get a positive quirk as well.
Doesn't last.
So that wasn't always the case. In fact, in the earliest versions of Darkest Dungeon 2, there was no such thing as Resolute. It was all meltdowns, and they changed that to be more in line with the first game. In my opinion, that was a very good decision. A, because I like being carried by Resolute characters, and B, because it's just more fun. It's just a lot more fun to have the chance at a character, you know, like becoming the RPG hero and saving the day, which has happened to us on more than one occasion. So yeah, it's really fun. Oh, that's another good point too. Yeah, the other negative factor from the meltdowns is the relationship hits. So if you have a meltdown, they will trigger a -2 to all relationships with party members that are in the combat with them. So yeah, meltdowns are really bad. Okay. Through the first couple encounters there. Not sure. I don't think we should expect a final fight here. I'm pretty sure those only happen at the inns. Yeah. So this is just a standard campsite. So we won't have the full suite of available options to us this time. We will be able to rest at least.
You're welcome. Much better.
So here we can see the party has become a little bit more fatigued. We've done day 2.
against the world.
See the healing effect to all the party members currently resting there as well. Curious to see.
Playtime's over.
They're still under siege over here. Nothing appears to have changed all that much. I kind of want to try. I don't know if I could send. Well, you know, actually, we could just go to the Man-at-Arms here, couldn't we? Actually, in fact, that's probably what we're doing. Oh, you know what I should have done?
Maximum
I realized I
pulse!
should have sent the Vestal and,
You thought I was gone for good.
Flagellant over here to this camp so that we could possibly switch them out when we got there. What we can do now... Oh, I don't think I could have done that, actually, right? I think the Tundra's blocking the way. Or is it? No, I think she could have done it. Yeah, okay. But what I can do now is I can send the Vestal down there.
Anticipate, adapt, and reposition.
And then I can send the Flagellant down here. And that way, regardless of which direction I go, I have another character available
Travel on foot is not without risk.
that we could swap out to. I think they are going to be there, yeah. In fact, if I do this now, there they are. Look at that. It's fun, isn't it? I like this scene a lot, yeah. This is reminiscent of the old DD1 campfire shots. Just the vibes, man. And the wolves howling in the background, all the leaves falling down behind them. That's terrific. Big fan of this. Yeah, I don't believe there's anybody that we could be swapping out right now, right? Yeah, because there's nobody currently stationed in this place. Also did not get the hand-drawn map effect yet because we have to deliver this to an inn. So that will pretty much do it.
Who remains come morning? Who numbers among the fallen?
The locals have scraped together a donation to the cause. Okay, so if we're able to visit the rich patrician, we'll get this benefit from that. Certainly want to try to grab the Man-at-Arms here as well, so let's do it. Set round.
The last remnants of the great dissolution cling stubbornly to these icy peaks.
Should definitely go ahead and equip these trinkets as well. It's actually a pretty nice pair here for the Abomination. So the Sacrificial Host will be giving us some additional Blight Resist, which you can see over here. And then the Hint of Home has a small chance to add regen when he is hit, so that ought to be pretty nice. And that'll do it. Stockpiling our inn materials very... I think we've even gone on record as being like, this should just be its own region. And that is essentially what they've done here. So, that's pretty sick. Shambler's Altar, huh? That sounds like a terrible idea. That sounds like a great way to end my Kingdoms run early. let's not do that. That is a super boss of sorts. They call it a mini boss, but it's been really good at kicking my butt lately. Another mini boss over there on the right side, actually, in the form of the Chirurgeon's Table. So that is that's gonna be a pretty easy. We're going left for me.
Safe passage along this stretch. A welcome reprieve.
Normally, I'd be all about the content. Yeah, you know me, but we've got like a strong need right now to not let this run end before the first hour's up. I'm gonna try and keep these folks alive here. Vestigial Entropy. Interesting. I don't want this one, but sorry, y'all. I have to disagree. Send it. Stress is very quickly becoming a problem here. We haven't even transformed the Abomination yet, and that's still a big issue right now. Let's see. Alright, so we've got our cultist enemies for the first time here. Thankfully not ordained anymore. I've been dealing with a lot of empowered enemies lately in our Confessions campaigns, and it's nice to see them in just their standard form here. Let's go for you first, considering the front rank one is already blinded and be less effective.
Trammeled, trapped, held captive by fear.
The Bear Taffy, I know, ate Shamblers for breakfast. We'll fight one, I swear. All right. If another one shows up, we'll fight it. How about that? That's always the trade I make, and then the game immediately presents me with another Shambler pretty much every time that I say that. So look forward to me dying in 15 minutes. Let's see here. You are so much less effective without your good skills, buddy. I'm finding that about quite a few of the people we're utilizing right now. Very grateful for that blind token again. Blinds across the board. Nice resist there from the occultist at least. I definitely think I should pull this guy forward again. It's very helpful to get the evangelist enemies in ranks 3 and 4, and that way they cannot do their intended moves.
Is the natural prelude to action.
They are essentially forced into using the Rush Judgment ability you can see down there in the 4th slot, which is significantly worse than their other stuff. The flame does have, I believe this is just the standard flame effect. It's been so long since I've done a standard flame run, but I'm pretty sure this is just the effects that you would get from normal bright light. So yeah, it's the standard considerations there. Oh, that was I don't know why I did that actually. That was silly. I think you're dead though. Bye-bye, buddy. We're kind of crossing our fingers that we can, oh boy, yeah, that's the opposite of what I was going to say there. I was going to say, kind of hoping that we can get some crits ourselves to reduce some of the stress up front. That's going to be easier said than done, of course. And these two are going to be cycling back and forth on the Rush Judgment, ideally, which means I am very happy to go ahead and just backlash here, although that does have a knockback potentially, I guess, so... I mean, actually, you know what? I could do Absolution here. Our first Absolution to just go ahead and bring the Abomination stress down at least. That's something. At least one person taking care of it. Alrighty, let's see here. Manacles yet again. I mean, you're already in the front, so works well enough, I guess. Abyssal's fine here. Get a little range damage. Hit both 3rd and 4th rank with that one. The bomb, I was just going to say, I was kind of crossing my fingers he could get into a little bit of regen there from getting hit so much. Now we'll get the armor break. So this is one of our first instances of death armor that we've seen. So this is a mechanic in the game to add a little extra difficulty to some enemies. Instead of being able to kill them immediately on hitting 0 HP, you'll have to break through the death armor first, which protects against a single death blow for each rank of it. But now that we've gotten through that on this one, should be able to finish it off easy peasy. There we go.
A lesson taught is a lesson learned.
They added pips to your life bar for DOT. They sure did. I didn't even notice that. Good on you. Oh, that's not what that is. That's the fatigue. Ah, yes. Okay, so I was anticipating this revealing itself in some sort of UI presentation, and there it is. So this is how the fatigue works, I guess, where you can see a visual indication of how much HP they would have otherwise, and then how much max HP I believe they have now as a result of that. However, he appears to be at a higher level of HP than that threshold, so I wonder if that's... I guess we'll have to pay attention to how that's working, because I don't think that's actually going to be functioning exactly that way. Now that you mention it, though, yeah, it would be kind of nice to have pips indicating the DOT, wouldn't it? Or at least like have that be like a toggleable effect. That'd be fun. Yeah, we'll just have to pay attention to how that's actually affecting things here. This is HP below 50%, so he's basically there. Yeah, that's my assumption is that it's going to be a max HP effect. Ooh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have tried to get the knockback instead. Might have been able to get her in the 3rd rank for one more round. Okay, so I believe he's able to heal himself now. There we go. It might actually be, you know, I think it's the fact that the Highwayman hasn't taken any damage yet is maybe why he's over that threshold. I'm wondering if we can try to heal somebody up, and then we'll see whether or not that actually allows it to progress beyond that point. Ooh, here we go. This is fun. So this is our first utilization of Execution here in our Kingdoms campaign. So Execution gives you the ability to defeat enemies through a level of death armor per level of execution you have. For example, 1 death armor versus 1 execution results in that. Excellent. do. Easy peasy for the squad. And some good stress heals actually there in the Abomination that time, so that worked out pretty well. I'm also very excited to see the Catacombs. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Once more.
Pine cones. A rich, earthy scent, a memory of hearth and home. These are new. They're just baubles, but it's fun that there's a new kind of bauble, too. I've noticed they've been very generous with the mastery points early on as well, which does make sense given the fact that it's a little bit harder to actually use those now.